Nuggets open for three. Dagger!
Hello, and welcome back to Well Beyond the Arc, the show where we bring you all things NBA basketball all the time. I'm Montana, joined as always by my co-host David. Before we get into all the basketball talk we have, because it's all things basketball as always. David, how you doing this week, bro?
I'm very good. I'm very good. It's a lovely week. If you all don't know, I'm in college and almost on the verge of rounding that up. So just rounding all that up. So I'm pretty, very, very good. Excited for it. So let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's get right into it then. Starting off, as always, with good, bad, and ugly. Starting off with good this week. Honestly, I'm going to go two goods. I don't usually do this, but I'm going to go two goods because I can't pick between the two. The first good that I had was this Clippers Nuggets series is shaping up to be one of the most punch for punch even series I think we're going to see for round one and maybe the whole playoffs. Obviously, I'm hoping we'll see some more even series, but I think this, unless something really shifts for one of the teams in the next 1 or 2 games, I think this is a 7-game series. I really do. I see them pushing it all the way to 7 because that's just how close this series feels. So that was my one good. And then I cannot talk basketball without talking about Dame Time coming back officially for game 2 for the Bucks today. I mean, that's huge for the Bucks after a pretty disappointing loss. They were lukewarmly in it a little bit in the beginning. They kind of looked like they were in it, but then the Pacers just took care of business, and the entire second half was all Pacers. So with Dame being back, I don't think this game will be like that. I don't think – now, we've seen players require a game or two to be fully back in form. Maybe he won't come back scoring a 30-piece, but I think he'll come back and contribute, and that'll help them have a much better game. So, originally, I just had the Clippers Nuggets, but I had to add a shout-out to Dame Time. Moving on, though, what is your good, bro? What are you rocking with for this week?
I low-key forgot that was a series. The Bucks Indiana game was a series. I low-key forgot that was actually a thing. I no offense, but like that's just it. But poor Knicks, iPhone 6, Betty Crocker. That doesn't even rhyme, bro. You have to rhyme. You have to rhyme. At this point, just look away. Just do this and look away. Anyways, yeah. I have to agree with you. Like the Dame time coming back, that's big. I don't think it will make any difference. I still will stand on business and say Indiana will handle business. Maybe in 5, whatever. It doesn't rhyme, bro. Anyways, but no, I agree. Denver series I was watching yesterday, and if only I can't remember what changed the play. I can't remember if it was the fact that Jamal. I don't know why Jamal didn't have the ball to end game last night, but if that game should have probably. Oh, I see. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm on. Yeah, my brain is locked out. Anyways, but yeah, that game could have gone to overtime yesterday. If that had gone in, that could have 100% gone to overtime. So I agree with that. That's probably the good of so far. Because I'm looking at the other series and yeah, some teams tried to stay in it, but obviously as time went on, it just became really bad for. I mean, the Rockets Warriors game, that was just a good one. That didn't even get to 100. So I think that was a good one. But yeah, I have to shout out to the Denver and Clippers for giving us a good game. Good game.
Yeah, no, it's been a really close series, and it feels very close. And I don't see that changing. I think that'll remain the case for the entirety of the series. But again, one team could end up taking control. And I agree. Pacers are pretenders. Let's go. Agreed. Bucks in 6 or 7. But we'll talk about that in a little bit, or talk about the next game in a little bit. But I mean, right now the Pacers do have control. So this healthy Kawhi, the best player performer of his generation. One of them, I would say, healthy Kawhi is a top 10 player or top. I'd even give him when healthy Kawhi is a top 5 playoff performer of his generation. I would say that's a really good take. Moving on to bad. Speaking of stuff that is not good, bad. Other than the Warriors, the 7-8 seeds are looking terrible. And again, we've seen it's not like it's common for a 7 or 8 seed to make it deep in the playoffs, but the Grizzlies getting beat, 131-80 is just insane. It's honestly, for me, these series are done. Celtics Magic. That series is done. The only series that is going to go the distance for the 7 and 8 seeds this season is the Warriors versus the Rockets. That's the only one that I see going the distance. I would not be shocked if the other ones end in a sweep.
You don't think Miami can do something? I have faith in Miami.
One game. I'd give Miami one game, maybe. Maybe Miami can make it a 5-game series, but I think that's all. That's all I would give them. Seriously, I don't. Maybe Miami's the one that I could give a little bit of a silver lining to and say maybe they can pull off one. Could Miami make it a 6-game series? Maybe in a perfect world, possibly. But I think it's a 4-game sweep for every series other than Warriors. Every series other than Warriors and Rockets. That's my thought for sure. Same. I would love seeing Lakers Warriors. I think that's what we're going to get too. But obviously, right now the Lakers are down in the series, so it's not the best place to be. But I think I'd love to see it for entertainment purposes, and I think realistically, it's possible. And the Grizzlies were good in 2022, but unfortunately, it's 2025 now. So it's been a few seasons since. David, what is your bad for this week's show?
Speaking of Lakers being bad, yeah, that was pretty bad. I mean, no, I don't expect what they call. I don't expect the Minnesota Timberwolves to come out and shoot over 50% from the three, and Naz Reid having what was it 25 or whatever he had in a game. I don't expect that to happen again, but that was pretty bad. The fact that as much as the fact that they allowed so many threes, like they just allowed them shoot so many threes. That game got out of hand after like 5 threes. I was just kind of sad to watch. So that was pretty bad. That was the Lakers were meant to win that game. They couldn't deal with the physicality. I know it's kind of weird because, anyways, yeah, it just was bad overall that they could not handle the physicality of the Timberwolves and allowed so many threes. What? But anyways. Yeah, that's my bad. I'm just going to leave it at that. I was kind of spoiled my Saturday, to be honest. But
No, I mean, that was bad. That was a really bad. I turned it off. I could not keep watching it. So that was not a good way to spend the Saturday. Clippers Nuggets. I'm taking Nuggets. Even though I think it'll go the distance, I think Nuggets will make it out of round one. Obviously, that puts them up against OKC, and so I don't think their chances are great in that series. I don't think any team that goes up against OKC, they have the best of chances with how they're looking right now. So moving on to ugly, Nico's press conference about Luka.
I actually even forgot that one. Damn.
I was like, bro, why are you doing this? Like of all the times, if anything, really like try. I mean, he did try to turn the questions about the future a little bit, but he didn't do it enough. If I'm sitting in that position, I'm just talking about the future of the team. I'm not talking about. I'm not even focusing on that like at all. I'm not even going to give that the time of day. He gave it too much attention, too much, and yeah. So that was my ugly because I don't know why bro is sitting up there doing that. That was like the worst thing he could have done. And him getting locked out or getting locked in, whatever you want to call it, is definitely foreshadowing because he's about to get locked out of that facility, as in fired. I don't think he's going to last very long in that position. Maybe I don't think he's going to get fired outright, but I don't see him. I don't see him lasting that long. But yeah, no, he did get baited and he fell for it. That's why he should not be in the position he's in. He just proves that he's not like what's the right word? I can't even think of the right word. He's just not. He shouldn't be doing what he's doing. He should have it. I mean, wasn't he like a CEO of he had a completely.
He worked with Nike. He worked with Nike. Yeah.
He wasn't. He didn't have. So yeah, he just has proven that he cannot handle this type of job. So that is what that press conference did to me. And if I'm a Dallas fan, I'm just feeling worse and worse and worse. And that's like just putting the nail in the coffin, honestly, a little bit. So what is your ugly for this week?
My ugly was going to be the Grizzlies, and obviously Jack came out and said they won't play that bad. I think he's lying. He's not doing it deliberately. He's being optimistic. I think he's lying. I think they are going to keep playing worse, and I think we are going to see a couple of 20+ win margin for the OKC, and that'll be fun to watch. In terms of because I don't really like the Grizzlies, so it's good for them. I don't really fancy them too much, so it's kind of good for them. We love it for them. So yeah, that was just about 50. At the point I was watching it on Sunday, and I was like, 150. Like I'm literally doing the math, and I'm like 150 at the end, almost the end of the third. I mean, I know they scored like 30 points in the fourth or whatever you want to say, but towards the end of the third, like with 4 minutes to play in third, 105 to 55. I'm like, what? This doesn't even make mentally. This doesn't even make sense. What am I watching here? I popped in and I see Lou Dort hitting like back-to-back threes, and I'm like, okay. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah, that was just terrible to see. I don't really care, to be honest. So I did have OKC sweeping Grizzlies, so it is what it is.
Yeah, no. I mean, no surprises there. I saw someone say LeBron and Reeves was their ugly. I mean, that's a fair ugly. They played. I don't know if I'd say ugly, but very inconsistent for what we need. I don't see that continuing for either of those players. I think they've both, obviously LeBron has proven to be playoff ready. And I think Austin Reeves at this point has proven himself in a couple of ways. So obviously they definitely played ugly. That's a good way of putting it, but I don't see that remaining. Moving on from good, bad, and ugly. And as always, you guys can always drop your good, bad, and uglies in the comments as we're doing it or after. We're going to move on though and talk about some stars that have never won rings. We're talking about Russell Westbrook. We're talking about James Harden. We're talking about Damian Lillard, and we're talking about Jimmy Butler. These are all players that have not won a championship ring. They've won MVPs or they've just had all-star seasons. They've had definitely success in the NBA, and all of these guys are more than likely going to end up in the Hall of Fame, especially with how the Hall of Fame is set up and a lot of players get in. Not that I'm saying that they shouldn't be in, but, a lot of different players and a lot of ringless players have gotten into the Hall of Fame. So, but the question is, do any of these players that I just listed have a chance at changing their ringless status this season / follow-up question in general? Even if it's not this season, David, do you see any of the players I just listed, Westbrook, Dame, Butler, or Harden, winning a ring before they retire? And anyone in the comments.
Oh, Harden is in there. Okay. I think if you look at this playoffs, I'll probably say is Butler in there? Butler is in there, right? I'll probably say between Butler and Harden, because I think I do see the Clippers getting through to the Nuggets, and then maybe making it tough for OKC, especially if Kawhi is up in there. So I do see Harden maybe putting in some run, but obviously Butler with Curry. I mean, except you meet the Lakers. I mean, if for some magical reason, they don't meet the Lakers in next round, or for some magical reason they don't make it past the first round, right? Then I won't. But I think Butler, if we are talking has a chance. I don't think Bucks are going anywhere. Like, let's be frank, I don't think they'll make it past the first round. And then who's the other one? Westbrook. With Denver? No, they're not beating Clippers. So yeah, I think they'll go to the Infinity Dome, drop 2 games to the Clippers to come a 3-1 series. I don't see them coming back from that. So yeah.
No, that's good. I'm same with Harden and Butler as the only two that I see really having a chance at these playoffs. And honestly, yes, it's Harden, but it's more Kawhi. If Kawhi stays healthy and plays like he is, that's a player that can get you through to the next level, to the next round, and to the next level. So for me, I would say, and I agree, I would say honestly, yeah, I'd have Butler 1 and Harden 2, just because I do think the Warriors as a team have potentially not an easier path to a championship, but maybe a better path than a Harden would have, because whoever plays next, whether it's Nuggets or Clippers, is going against OKC. And I think that the Clippers, with a healthy Kawhi and a Harden that's doing what he's doing, I think that they could, and that shout out to they have a really well-built team. The Clippers have had a team that, despite losing pieces, shifting pieces, they've remained a pretty intact team overall. And so for me, I can see them pushing OKC farther than the Nuggets would. Honestly, I can see them at least pushing OKC to the brink, possibly. So yeah, I think I agree with Butler being 1, Harden being 2 for this season. In general, I think Dame could win one. I don't think Westbrook will ever win one, and it's kind of unfortunate because Westbrook missed winning one with the Nuggets by 1 season. I totally, like, if he would have been on that team, he would have definitely he would have gotten himself a ring, and that would have been that. And he honestly probably would be retired by now, or at least after this season. So he missed it. He missed it by just a little bit, and it's unfortunate because he could have. I mean, they obviously won, but having more depth in the point guard position probably would have helped give them even more dominance that season. So for me, Westbrook missed it by a season, and I think he'll never get a ring. I think Westbrook is one player that won't get a ring.
I mean, imagine if after leaving the Clippers from last season, the Clippers gone and then go on and win it this season, and that would be mental.
That maybe that will happen. That's just his luck. It seems like he's just destined to not get a ring. Seriously, he's been like just barely off of it several times in his career. So, yeah, it is very. I think Westbrook is going to be a Hall of Fame, one of the best point guards of all time because of what he's done with triple doubles and just the type of player he is. Obviously, he has nothing left to prove, honestly. In my personal opinion, that's a player that has nothing left to prove. I don't see him getting a ring. Dame, I think, is less likely than Harden and Butler, but I think it's still possible. And I think it's slightly possible that it would be with the Bucks. Is there a chance that it would be with a different team? Yeah, there's a very good chance. But I still believe that Giannis and Dame Bucks team can figure it out and have a future possibly. And I think it's going to start with them making it at least to the second round. If not, watch them sneak all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know. I'm just watch it happen. Is it 100% going to happen? Am I going to put any money on it? Absolutely not. But I just think with Dame back, we're going to see a different Bucks team going forward. But I still don't think that'll get him a ring this season. So yeah, I think it's between Butler and between Harden, but I still don't think either of those players are getting a ring this season. I still would take the Lakers or take OKC over any of those teams coming out of the West. And we're not talking about who's making to the Western Conference Finals. We're talking about who's getting a ring. So when we break it down like that, I really don't think any of these players get one this season. But again, I'd love to see Butler get one. I'd love to see all four of them get one, honestly. I really do enjoy watching all of them play. So time will tell. We'll see who ends up ringless and who ends up with at least one. But moving on, we are going to talk about round 2 games because there were round 1, game 2, we're going to talk game 2. Game 1 wrapped up. Game 2 wrapped up for the Clippers and the Nuggets. And then what was the other series? Knicks,
Detroit.
The next one starts today, and it is Bucks versus Pacers. We've already talked a little bit about it, but we're going to give our thoughts on it. Again, I think with Dame being back, that's going to give the Bucks enough of a spark to win game 2. I think they're going to win it. I don't think they're going to blow the Pacers out. I think we're going to see a game that is very similar to the last game with the Pacers having a lot of life in the first half, but we're going to see a Bucks team that has a lot more life. We're going to see a half that is separated by 2 to 4 points, and then we're going to see the Bucks come out, take control, win the game. So I don't have the Bucks pulling away and winning by like 15, 20 points, but I do think the Bucks win today and even the series. David, what do you think? You're rocking with the Pacers all the way, right?
100%.
Okay.
Pacers in 5.
So we're giving the Bucks 1.
We're giving the Bucks 1. They'll probably win game 3. They'll go back to Milwaukee, win game 3.
Do you think there's any possibility of 6 games still going in the Pacers' favor, or do you think they really take care in 5?
Did you watch that first game? You
I
see how
did.
abysmal they were looking? Like Giannis is dropping 36 or whatever he's dropping, and they still
First half, I don't know. Yes, I agree. I mean, Giannis was dragging that team along, and they had absolutely no life. But with Dame back, and we've seen the team all together with Dame play far better than they did game 1. So I just think they'll have more life as a team. My thought process to them winning game 2, you have Dame time back, and I don't think he's going to be 100% back because it takes players a couple of games to be all the way back. But you're going to see Dame time.
And you still have them winning game 2.
I do.
No. That doesn't. The math isn't math. I'm sorry.
How's it not? Because
the math isn't math.
If Dame takes a little bit of the offensive weight off of Giannis and
but he's not going to do that. He's going to be rusty. I don't see. Obviously, I think he'll have more than 10 points, but I don't think it will be enough to.
You don't think he'll have a 20-piece?
No, and I can be wrong. Obviously, I think there'll be an element of rust. And that's why I said they'll probably win game 3, and we'll see what happens after game 3. But game 2, I also do think he'll be on limited minutes to come back. Like deep vein thrombosis, if you kind of know what that is, that's kind of not coming back from that is kind of weird. So yeah, those I mean, yeah, Pacers going up to I'm leaving it at that.
I mean, that's a fair take. I think he'll have a 20 piece at least matched with Giannis's 30 to 40 points. And then you're already looking at 50 to 60. And you're looking at taking a big weight off of these role players that definitely are not ready to take on the weight of a player like Dame being out. So I think we'll see a little more life. I think we'll see an offensive weight lifted that will give them more room to work, and we'll see a closer game. Maybe the Pacers still win it, but I do not see the Bucks losing like they lost game 1. I just do not see a universe where they have a loss and don't look like a playoff ready team. So I'm going Bucks winning today, but we'll obviously touch back in and see where they're at when we have our next episode. Before we move on to the next game, Giannis leaving the Bucks. I left this comment up if they lose round 1. I don't think he's leaving the Bucks if they lose round 1, but I do think he's leaving the Bucks. Like, I don't know. I think he's not leaving like right away, but I think he'd be one more season and then he'd be gone if they lose in round 1. I don't see him just up and leaving the summer, but I could be wrong too. I don't know. David, what do you think? If they lose in round 1, do you see Giannis up and leaving?
I don't think this is what I think. I don't think Giannis will ever request a trade. Or let me like obviously he just signed the contract, like was it a year ago or 2 years ago, whatever, he signed the contract. Giannis is a loyal guy. Giannis is will stick to his contract. Giannis is not the type of guy that will demand a trade, right? So I think it's up to Bucks to be like, okay, this is probably not going to kind of what Luka. No, I don't want to compare what Dallas did to Luka, but kind of those kind of scenarios of the organization being like, okay, maybe it's time to just move on and go a different direction, and then they trade him, for picks, and they tell you obviously it won't be as sour as what they did. It will kind of be consensus, but I think that's kind of how it will go. I don't think it will be like, oh, like I need a trade, I want out of here. Like Giannis is not that type of dude. He's loyal. He sticks to his word. He's a man of his word. So we'll see. I don't think it affects his decision. Obviously, he's a competitor. He wants to win. But I think above winning, he's a very loyal dude to not precisely the organizations, but more towards the fans.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. So we'll see how that goes.
100%. I am 100% with you on that, and I honestly do see it ending in a similar Luka situation, potentially with management and with the behind the scenes kind of pulling the plug on that. But I don't think it won't be after this season. I see Giannis, and like Ryan, what's up, man? Nice to see you. Like Ryan said, they keep giving him the Superman. I mean, they are right now all in on Giannis, but I don't see that happening again. I don't see that happening. And honestly, I mean, after the championship, they have been bounced very early, very consistently. So they have had very little success since that championship. So time will tell. I don't see him leaving after the play or after this season. And I honestly don't even see him leaving. I can see him remaining in Milwaukee and them figuring something out, but time will tell. Next game, Grizzlies OKC. We're not even going to waste any time on this one. It's already wrapped up. OKC wins by 20 plus points and go up 2-0. Maybe even 30 plus points at this rate, or 40, who knows. I don't think the Grizzlies will lose as bad as they lost last time, but they lost by like 50 points, so that's not really saying that much.
Was it 50 or 55? I think it was 55.
Yeah, it might have been 55.
Sometimes
it might have been 55 exactly. If it was 55, that's even worse. So they had an almost 60-point loss. So you can't get much worse than that. I mean, they could. Maybe, they could get worse than that. I don't think that'll happen, but I think they will barely. No. Can they win one game? I'm saying no. This is one series. If I was betting anything, I would bet it was a 4-game sweep. If there was I would bet pretty heavily that OKC takes care of business, because they basically came out and said, we're not just a regular season team. Because some teams come out and get punched in the mouth, even if they won the series. We've seen 8 seeds come out and punch them in the mouth a little bit and make it a 5-game series. And then you look at the team and you're like, okay, maybe they have some holes, this, and this. OKC showed none of that. They showed
51-point loss. I apologize. 51-point loss.
It's crazy. a 51-point loss only shows that they're going to take care of business in 4. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I've seen a 50-point loss in the playoffs like this, or I can't remember. I don't know. Someone will have to fact check that because maybe it hasn't been that long, but I feel like that is a pretty exponential loss. And so, yeah, give me OKC winning by 20 to 30 points and going 2-0, and I think it'll be a sweep. Get the brooms out. Get all the brooms out.
I don't know if this, I can't remember what. Remember when this guy said, except he drops 40 on me, I'm not going to respect him, Dylan Brooks. Did the Lakers one game blow out the Memphis by 40? I can't remember.
It was was that the closeout game?
I can't actually remember. I forget what that game was.
That was a series. That was a fun time to be a Lakers fan. That was a fun because we played Grizzlies and then we played Warriors. Want to talk about
obviously, yeah.
We're not going to talk about that one, but it was fun until then.
That's probably the closest I've seen, if I remember correctly.
By like 30 to. It was a massive win, so that might be the biggest win. This might be the biggest one since then. But either way, I'm going OKC all the way. Speaking of Lakers, next one up is Lakers versus Timberwolves. I'm rocking with the Lakers. It's a home game. If you watched last episode, I said I thought the Timberwolves would take game 1. I just thought.
Did you say that?
I did say that. I did say that.
I remember you saying that.
I did say that because, and I don't know if I broke it down and actually when it elaborated it, but the reason I thought they were going to win it is because they're a team that has something to prove. They're a team that's been playing like they have something to prove. I mean, weren't they like 17-4 in their last 20? Something like they had a really nice record in their last 20 games. It might not have been as nice as 7, but it was really, 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 really nice. Either way, they look like a team that's going to punch you in the mouth and have that action and have that intensity right off the bat. The Lakers have a little more, I don't know what the right word is. I don't want to say poise. I don't want to say patience, but I think we can be a little more patient. I think that LeBron is not going to play like LeBron played the rest of the series. LeBron had a very off game. He had some okay moments, but as a whole, he had a very off game. Austin Reeves did not have the game that fans would have hoped he would have had or have seen from him in the playoffs before. It was a very off, and you don't just blame it. Looking beyond them, it was a very off performance, top to bottom. Luka had a really, really good performance, somewhat.
In the first half.
Exactly. It wasn't a complete Luka performance. I think it's going to be a super close series. I think it's going to end up a 6 or 7 game series. I am still saying Lakers in 6, and I think we go 1-1 today. I don't think we're going to blow them out by any means. I think it's going to be a super close game, but I think at halftime you're going to see the Lakers either up by 4 to 6 or only down by 2 to 4. I think it's going to be a very close game because Game 1 was not close. Let's be honest. We did not look on. From the moment the ball was tipped to the end of the game, we did not look like the Lakers we have looked for the last 30, 35 games. And so I don't see that continuing. Yeah. I mean, Reeves is he's really proven himself as like the third guy. I don't know if I would have called him that before this season, but I think he is that like third guy for the Lakers now, like solidly that third guy for the Lakers. And I can see him remaining a Laker beyond the LeBron era. And so maybe he becomes that number 2 guy eventually, or even the number 1 guy, depending on how everything falls. So I like Austin Reeves. And I think this season to me was the first season that I was really like, okay, this guy, I mean, he's had really good games and really good moments, but like he's really made himself known now. So I think we're going to see a big Austin Reeves performance. But yeah, give me the Lakers winning this one. I think it's, again, I'm not going to say the Lakers are going to blow them. I mean, it's going to be a close game. I think this entire series is going to be close, but I'm still saying the Lakers come out on top. David, what do you think? Are you giving the Timberwolves 2 in LA, or are we getting 1 today?
No, I said Lakers in 5.
You still think
they're done? They're done. They're done for Lakers in 5. They're done. I said that, and I'm starting off business. Lakers in 5.
I got to pull that comment back up. There we go. There we go. I
don't know. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm trying
so Lakers in 5. I wish I had your confidence, David. I don't, because I don't know. But if we win, let's say, so do you think we have a huge win today, a statement win, or do you think we just win the game and then end up winning in 5?
Oh
Do
no,
you
no. I think today will be a good game. I think it won't be close. I'm not saying it will be like 2 points. No, no, no. I think it will be what's it? I think it will be like maybe a 10 points, 10 points, maybe whatever type of game. But then when you go to Minnesota, I think one of them games will be statements, man. One of them games in Minnesota will be a statement win.
like a Grizzly one? Like a
Mm-hmm.
like a, especially when after Edwards did that right in Luka's face. That's not game
Exactly.
one. Game one. Oh
Exactly.
no, that might not have been
So I still stand on business and say
5 up. Man, Lakers in 5. I don't know. I'm not as confident just because of how the T-Wolves came out. I'm still confident we win it and win the whole series. But man, Lakers in 5 would be nice. I don't want it to go to 6. You want that first round to not last very long. So let's hope that is what ends up happening.
Because there are still some teams that will be playing to 7. We know those teams that will be playing to 7. So you want to quickly round up so that we'll have time to rest, recoup, get some film session in.
More rest, the more ready you are. So I'm you know what? I'm changing my answer. Lakers in 5. You heard it from David first, but I'm hopping on because I think we can do it. I'm just, that first game made me less confident. Facts, not in a good way. Yeah. That is true. Moving on, we got Magic Celtics. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. I think this is a sweep.
No, I think they'll snatch one game. I think they'll still one
You
game.
think Magic gets one?
Celtics, they always do this. They'll look good first game, second game, then one of them games they'll come out, and then fourth or fifth game they'll just do out. So I think they'll snatch one game. They'll snatch game 3. No, they'll take game. In Orlando, they'll take game 3.
Celtics in 5, you think?
Yeah, Celtics 5, 100%. I don't think they will take this to a 7-game series. I don't. Celtics ain't trying to do too much. So.
I mean, you make a really good point. They do collapse in on themselves in series when they have a control and a lead. So I can definitely see Celtics making it a 5-game series on their end because they do kind of take their foot off the gas in times that they shouldn't. I think they're going to win it in 4. But today's game, or it might be tomorrow now. I don't know if we're still in today. I think it's tomorrow now. I think these next 3 games are tomorrow's games. Celtics, I think, will win by 20 plus points in game 2. I think they'll absolutely dominate the first 3. You made a really good point that I do want to acknowledge, that they could let off the gas and lose game 4. I can see that happening, but give me Celtics winning today or tomorrow's game by 20 plus points. I think they'll have a nice little outing and look like that dominating team that we know they are. Heat versus Cavs. You made so you earlier you said, do you think the Heat can get one?
I think the Heat can get
one. I don't think it'll be tomorrow's game, though. I think the Cavs take game 2 and go up 2-0, but I think it'll be a closer game, and you'll see the Heat come in, and then the Heat will get game 3. I think the Heat get game 3. I'd give them 3, but then I think the Cavs, you know what? Maybe this is a 6-game series. I think the Cavs win it no matter what. I'm only confidently giving the Heat 1 win, but maybe this is a 6-game series because when that team is on, they're on. So,
I mean, it's Coach Spo, bro. Can't pull out from anything, I don't doubt that, dude. Like that is mental. Like take 8 seeds in the final. I don't doubt. Like I don't.
Yeah, you can't doubt that, dude, because that was him. You make great point. That 8th seed to the final was all him. Like, yes, you had the players, but that has to be the coach.
Yeah, so I mean 7. It would be good. It would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to see, not a sweep. I would really, again, it'd be good to see not a sweep. And I don't think the Cavs are capable of sweeping. I'll also say that. I'm not a Cavs hater, but I don't think they're capable of sweeping. Warriors Rockets is the last game 2 on the slate tomorrow. I think the Warriors beat the Rockets and go up 2-0. I'm not going to get crazy and say they win in 4 or 5. I think the Warriors win in 6. But I think that they take tomorrow. I think I don't know. I'm confident. I'm rocking with the Warriors. I think we're looking at Warriors-Lakers in the semis, but that's just me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just me and the one that I want to see. But yeah, I definitely feel confident in the Warriors taking care of business and going up 2-0. But they're not going to sweep. I've had a couple friends talk crazy and say Warriors in 4 and be very serious. And here's the deal. They look great. They look like the best team since they won a championship. And honestly, this team to me looks better than that team that won a championship in some ways, the last championship that they won. So for me, this is the best Warriors team we have seen since Kevin Durant left. Honestly, I truly believe that. Can they strengthen up certain positions and become an even better team? 100%. But this is the best Warriors team. And so for me, I just think that they're going to handle business super, 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 super handily, even though it'll be a 6-game series. We saw them go up against the Kings a few seasons ago and handle business because they had that experience. They had that patience. It's patience. I think it's all about patience. Yes, you can go out and win one game, game 1 or game 2 or whatever, and have a big win. But if you can't be consistent and maintain that, you're not going to win the series. This isn't a 1-game series. You have to win 4. So for me, I think the Warriors are just going to have that success over the Rockets. But shout out to the Rockets because obviously they weren't anywhere close to being in this talk last season. So yeah, I'm going Warriors in 6, and I think they go up 2-0 and win game 2. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know about this one. This is a tough one because Loki, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I can't give you an answer. I don't think the Warriors go 2-0. That's why I'll give you that. But I don't know who win this series. I think this is a tight one. I think I watched the first game and that was a 95-85 game. Very low scoring type of affair. And that's kind of what you expect because they're both defensively really solid. But it's who can score when they have the chance to score. And I think the Houston Rockets missed so many opportunities, low-key. Like they could have probably even taken that to like 195 game. But and obviously, yeah, I think it's too close to call. But it will be fun. Whoever makes it, good. But in how many games? Whoever wins, I think wins in 6 games. I think this is a 6-game series. Now, about who that does it. If the Rockets do win 1, if not, I don't say okay. I don't say 1 because that would be like they could probably win tomorrow and then to be different to be rare. But if they win 1, they get some momentum. Win 2 on this bounce, they win back to back. The series might be over in 5.
Yeah, no, I can see that for sure.
But if the Warriors go 2-0 up to like tomorrow, I think it will be a 5-game series too.
Okay. So it's all about whoever takes control of the series.
Yeah.
Which sometimes you see teams not take control until that last game. So it'll be interesting to see how far this series goes. I think this will be one of the more even series we see. I don't think it'll be as on par with Nuggets and Clippers, but I think it'll be one of those series that goes shot for shot. Moving on, speaking about series that are going shot for shot, we're talking about 2 series that are tied at 1-1 right now. Talking about game 3. First on Thursday is Knicks versus Pistons. This is all I'm going to say. I've been calling this since they got matched up against the Knicks. I've been saying Pistons are winning this in 6. And I'm going to keep that. I'm going to hold that. And this is what I'm going to say. Pistons, first of all, Pistons in 6, and Pistons are winning game 3.
Wait, I feel like I said that. Did I say that? Or did I say that
you said Knicks?
I said there could be a possibility of an upset.
I think you said it was a toss-up. Last time we talked, you said it was a toss-up, I'm pretty sure.
Really? I feel like I said it could be an upset. That could be an upset watch.
You might have.
Was it the Atlanta game, Atlanta Cleveland? That's probably what it was. Anyway.
It might have been that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I know that we had touched on it I think 2 or 3 times, or it might have been, we've touched on it 2 times now, before the series had started and then last week or something. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm saying Pistons in 6. I believe that they'll win game 3. It's at home for them. And Pistons fans, I think this is the best Pistons team we have seen since they won the championship in the early 2000s. I truly, truly do. Have they made the playoffs since then? Not that many times, but yeah. But I think this is the best team we have seen since that team. And these Pistons fans have been hungry. I'm gonna talk about another sport, which I don't usually do. Football. I'm going to talk about Detroit fans, Detroit Lions fans. These fans have been deprived of these successful playoff opportunities for so long. They're going to show up, and that doesn't win the game for a team, but I feel like the Pistons are going to have that extra oomph that they need, and they already had it in game 2 and game 1. I mean, they barely got beat out in game 1. The Knicks took over the game literally at the end of the game. The Pistons were right there. So for me, I think it'll be a 6-game series. I think it'll be a shot-for-shot series, but I'm going with the Pistons winning all. But give me the Pistons winning today's game and going up 2-1. But again, I think it's going to be shot-for-shot. I think the Pistons win game 3, and then give me the Knicks winning game 4. Honestly, I think we'll see that, and then we'll see the Pistons take care of business in 5 and 6. So, yeah, give me the Pistons winning today. They've been playing a really exciting brand of basketball, and I love seeing it, and so I hope to see the Pistons winning Thursday. What are your thoughts, David? Do you think the Knicks take over game 3, or do you think the Pistons go back-to-back wins?
That's a tough one. I think there's a possibility of an upset. I think this is one of those games where there's a possibility of an upset. I can't wait to see it because it will be interesting. This would be a really fun series. But yeah, I'm going to say New York because it's go New York, go New York, go. I'm all for New York. So I'm going to go New York, but I think it will be tight. It will be a tight one. I think this will be a tight game, like literally really tight. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. But I'm still going to go New York, go New York, go New York, go New York, go. But there's a possibility of an upset. There's a possibility of an upset. Look, I'm sorry if you're watching this, but I'm always going New York, go. But like I feel like Detroit can possibly pull an upset.
Fair. I definitely can see New York. I just don't have confidence in New York handling business because they've not been able to handle business consistently, regular season or postseason, for like 30 years now. But this could be the season where they turn that around and change the narrative. It definitely could be. The next game that I believe is also on Thursday is Nuggets versus Clippers game 3. Again, this is, in my opinion, probably going to be the closest series, definitely of round 1 and maybe of a lot of the postseason, because I just think we're destined to see a 7-game series. Could it be a 6-game series? It definitely could be, but I think we're going to see a 7-game series. And here's the deal. I think the Nuggets, in a scenario where it's a 7-game series, win the series and go to round 2. But if Kawhi Leonard is healthy and consistent and plays, it might not be a 7-game series. Maybe the Clippers take control. We have seen Kawhi, when he is healthy, take control of playoff series and be that player that makes that difference between a loss and a win. And so he could absolutely do that and be that for the Clippers. I just think this Nuggets team, though, is going to come out and win a game 7 scenario. So if it pushes to a 7-game series like I think it will, I'm going with the Nuggets. For game 3, give me the Nuggets winning a close game. I think the Nuggets win by 2 to 6 points, and we could even see an overtime game. Honestly, we've already seen scenarios with that already. So let me see an overtime game, and let me see the Nuggets coming out and going up 2-1. What are your thoughts for this game 3 of Nuggets versus Clippers? It's a good series, that's for sure.
I already said it. I said the Clippers go up 3-1. Well, I literally said it. I was like, they go back to the Intuit Dome. They get the 2 games because I don't see Denver win those 2 games. They come back maybe to Denver. Denver gets it 3-2. Go back to Intuit Dome. Series is done in 6.
So you're saying it ends at 6?
It ends at 6.
And Clippers for sure?
Clippers are there.
Do you think the Clippers have a better chance than the Nuggets of making the OKC series a series? Or do you think whoever plays the OKC is doomed?
No, I think whoever plays OKC will probably not win.
Fair.
But I think whoever does play them, they'll make it a fun series. I don't care I just know Clippers will win. But whoever plays them, because they are both good teams, I do think whoever plays will make it a fun series, but OKC will still win.
Fair. No, I agree. I do think whatever team is destined for an L, but I think it won't be a sweep. It won't be a Grizzlies versus OKC series. That's just going to be a one-time thing. I don't see the Thunder are not going to have that type of control over a team like the Nuggets or the Clippers or the Lakers or the Timberwolves. Any team they go up against, it'll be a series going from here on out. But I definitely think it will be a series, and I think it will be 7. But I can also see a team controlling it. And again, maybe that does end up being the Clippers. I definitely can see the Clippers winning it. I think this is one of the most toss-up series out here, and I'd say it probably is, in my opinion, the closest series that we probably will see. But moving on from playoff talk, we've got a few more topics to cover. The first is Coach of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year. Finalists have been announced for Coach of the Year. We'll go right into it. I think it's Bickerstaff for the Pistons, because you're looking at a coach that took over a team that had 14 wins last season, and now they're in a heated back and forth series against the famous, well-known New York Knicks. I mean, that's a pretty big difference in a little bit of time. So yes, it's in the players, it's in the success, but honestly, a lot of the players that you're seeing on the Pistons were with that team when this coach took over. So he definitely has changed the culture and kind of turned them into a winning team again. So I'm going with Bickerstaff. I would say all of the candidates deserve to be up there. I would say for what they've done for their respective teams, they all deserve to be in that light. But I'm going with Bickerstaff. What do you think for the Coach of the Year award, David? Do you think who do you got winning it?
I think Kenny Atkinson, just because I didn't see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we look at Rockets in Milwaukee. We saw what they did last season. What they were 41 and 41. So we kind of saw that they are building something. And Bickerstaff, I mean, I don't say we saw it coming, but I wasn't as surprised as I was with Cleveland. Like, Cleveland came out hot and firing. They had streaks. You know what I mean? Like, no one really saw them coming from anywhere. And I obviously I remember I can say with the Nets, and he got sacked for because of all that stuff. It's a while back, but I didn't really know what to expect from him, and they just came out firing and firing. So I think it has to be Atkinson, just because I think no one saw that coming from anywhere. No one had Cleveland even in their top 3 in the East. No one had Cleveland. At best they were like 4, maybe 5, but to be firing on all cylinders, I think credit to what he's done for a team. And it's kind of under the radar. Look, when you look at it, it's kind of under the radar. You know what I mean? Like, no one's talking about it.
No, I do. That is a good pick. I would be honest, if I wasn't picking Bickerstaff, I would go with Atkinson for sure. Just because, again, like you said, the Cavs have been the most successful team in the East, B, the second most successful team in the NBA record-wise. And so when you look at that right there shows their worth and what he's done. And then also, like you said, win streaks on multiple win streaks. And we haven't seen a lot of teams pull that off like in the last few seasons. It's been a lot of back and forth. And so we saw that, that dominance does deserve a top nod for sure. So time will tell whether it goes to any of those 3 guys. I don't think you can say they were robbed, but I would not give it to Udoka. Not because I just think that's like the guy out of all 3 of them that I think is. But then again, they finished second in the West. So you're looking at, I mean, Udoka and Atkinson finished the best record-wise and like standing-wise. So do with that what you will. But moving on, we've got Defensive Player of the Year. I want to start by saying if Wemby, and I've said this probably too many times now, multiple people on here have probably heard me say this at some point. If Wemby was not out for the season, this would be his award. Honestly, I think Defensive Player of the Year will be his award until I think he'll be in the talk every season until he's done playing, because dude was averaging like 3 blocks, I'm pretty sure, or right under 3. And he had some insane, like 7 block. I mean, some insane games putting up block numbers of legends, like legends of the game put those numbers up. So I think Wemby was robbed by his health. So he wasn't robbed by someone else, but obviously he was robbed from his health this season. So hopefully he comes back in full strength and wins the award, because that's his award. Honestly, that should be his award. He should be knocking one of these guys that is in the talk out of it. But since he is not in it anymore, I'm giving it to Dyson Daniels for the Hawks. I believe he's Hawks, right? I should know what team he's on if I'm giving him the award. But 3 steals a game and right under 1 block a game. Why I'm giving it to him is this dude had games where he would get like 3 steals and 2 blocks. Is he doing that every night? No, but dude was a defensive menace. It didn't show on the record. It obviously didn't show into getting them into the postseason, but he, in my opinion, is the best defensive player left other than Wemby. He's by far, I think, has won it. Now, Draymond is like 1 point something blocks, 1 point something steals. So he's over 1 for both, and he's pretty consistent. But I can't comfortably give the award to Draymond Green. I feel like it's Daniels. What are your thoughts? Are you giving to Daniels as well, or are one of the other guys winning it for you this season?
The other guy is what? Is he Evan Mobley? Is that the other guy? Yeah. Evan Mobley?
Probably.
I don't sound like the media, so I'm trying to think this one through. I do vibe with it. And when I first thought about it, I was like, yeah, Daniels, like to do that, like he's not just doing blocks, he's doing steals too. And obviously past defensive players, it's kind of just been blocks. But I think of Draymond, and I think Draymond's impact, as much as the Warriors were terrible for half of the season, the other half of the season, I think kind of warranted, where his contribution. So I'm leaving Draymond out because I'm looking at the first half of the season. The Warriors were terrible. Draymond had no impact whatsoever defensively, so scratch that out. Or even let's say pre-trade deadline, the Warriors were terrible, right? So now, and then the other guy, Evan Mobley, I think out of all of them, he's probably. And I'm so pissed that this guy's not in it. What's his name? Lou Dort. Lou Dort is not in it. I think that was kind of sad that he wasn't picked in it. I don't know why that was, but it's kind of weird. I'm going to go with Mobley just because I think defensively he was the best player on the best team. When you look at it, the best player defensively, like defensively, he was the best player in the best team, and you could see his impact in the team. Daniels, good individual numbers, but then team wise, it's kind of weird. It's kind of shaky. It didn't really resonate in the team. I'm probably not saying the right words here, but you guys get what I'm saying. So yeah, give me Evan Mobley. I think he. And not that the other guys didn't deserve it, except Draymond. Draymond deserved it if we're looking at post-trade deadline. But the other guys, thoroughly, I think, also deserved it. This is 1 year that I think they actually got the definition of Defensive Player of the Year award. Not just giving it to blocks and whatever. So, yeah.
I think that's, well, like you said, obviously Mobley had the most success team-wise. And with that, he had a big impact. His defense was a big part of that. So, I would go Daniels, Mobley, and then Green if I was ranking who I would give it to. So if it's given to Mobley, I won't be mad. I won't say it was robbed. Draymond Green, though, I can't comfortably say he should get it. I can comfortably say Mobley and Daniels deserve it. I don't know about Green, but time will tell. If you guys have any other picks or agree with us on our Coach of the Year or Defensive Player of the Year, you can always let us know in the comments. Moving on, we're at our final segment of the day. It is our top of the hour 5, and today's is the top 5 best NBA teams that didn't win it all. These are teams that had deep playoff runs, and many people think should have came out with a championship, even though they didn't. And these teams didn't come out with a championship for any number of reasons and lost at any different point. I think I only have one team that lost before the Western Conference final or before the conference finals. But we'll get right into it. Moving right into it, number 5 for the best NBA teams that didn't win it all. I have the 2015-16 Spurs. Their success is often overshadowed by the Warriors because this is the season the Warriors won 70-plus games and broke the record. But the Spurs looked dangerous. They lost to OKC, and they had control of the series until they didn't. So I honestly think if we saw the Spurs make it a little bit further and go up against the Warriors, maybe we're looking at a Spurs-Cavs finals. I'm not 100% going to sit here and say that the Spurs would have taken the Warriors down, but I think that it would have been a far better series and they would have had a far better chance. So the fact that they took their foot off the gas and ended up losing against OKC just really, for me, didn't sit right for this team to end like that. I feel like they should have had a better ending, but obviously they didn't, and we know what happened next. So my number 5 has to be that 2015-16 Spurs team led by legends like Tim Duncan. I mean, this was when this dude was still, I think this was his last season? This
Maybe
might have been his last season. I'm not sure. Either way, it was definitely one of the better playoff. I think this was since this team has the Spurs even made the playoffs. I feel like they've had to have made the playoffs at least once, but maybe with DeRozan they made the playoffs one season. But since then, the Spurs have not been the same Spurs. So that's going to be my number 5. David, who are you rocking with for number 5?
I'm going to go with the 1996, 1997 Utah Jazz back to back NBA Finals. Obviously, it's kind of sad they did not. But that season, that 1996-1997, they had a 64-18 record. West best. That was obviously West best. The Bulls having the best record, obviously, but that was a lot. That was it. That was a lot. Obviously, Jordan stopped them. We all know was that. But yeah, give me the Utah Jazz of the obviously with Karl Malone and John Stockton. Amazing duo in the NBA. So yeah.
No, good pick. Very solid pick. I also have a Jazz team on my list because you can't leave them out. Number 4, give me the 2001-2002 Sacramento Kings. They were robbed, honestly. They were robbed. They should have been the NBA champions that season. As a Lakers fan, I can confidently say that. I didn't have to. I chose to do a research paper thing on that for school. And so I did a little more research into it. And when you actually look into it, it was very obvious that that series was fixed in the Lakers' favor. So obviously the Lakers took care of business, but this 2001-2002 Kings team was a 60-plus win team. The Kings have not been the same since this team. This was by far the best Kings team. And honestly, if we're talking top, you'd probably have to go 50 NBA teams all time. This team is making that list 150%. They might be low on the list, but this Kings team was different. Led by Bibby, Weber. They had a really good team top to bottom. So lost to the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. And then we know what happened after that. David, who do you got for number 4?
2012-2013 OKC, Westbrook and Kevin Durant. West 60-22 record. They should have gone back to play the Miami Heat if not for Westbrook injuring his finger. Oh, there's no torn meniscus. I think that's in the leg. My bad. That's in the leg. They should have gone to the rematch with the Miami Heat, but sadly that didn't happen. And then they lost to Memphis in the semifinal in the second round. So that was kind of sad. But yeah, 60-22 back then was not easy. I mean, look, it's not it's not easy now, but yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, no, that definitely that was a disappointing ending. I've got the 2012-2013 OKC Thunder at my number 3 spot. 2012-2013. I mean, we know how this all went. We know that this Thunder team was the best that we've seen until maybe this team. Obviously, this team could end up taking that spot and being that team, but this team was different. And if the stars align differently, I think we'd be looking at this OKC team being the team that won them a championship. Obviously, it did not work out, but they had the best depth and the best talent that they've had until, again, this season we're in right now. So OKC was definitely different when they had Durant and Westbrook. That was when they had both of those guys, they were a different team. So shout out to the OKC era that had Westbrook and Durant. It feels like it's been 1,000 years ago. Who do you got for number 3?
Number 3, 2008-2009 Cleveland Cavaliers. I believe this was the season before LeBron moved. No, I'm wrong. That's absolutely wrong. We all know what happened in this series. 8-0. They swept both teams before facing the Magic. That was LeBron's. They had an NBA best 66-16. Damn. That's crazy. That's mental. That's mental to think of. And I remember LeBron talking about that particular season and how, all that stuff he said, and you literally could not even tell who was on the team. But they found their way to a 66-16 season, and obviously they lost to Magic, who ended up going to lose to the Lakers. So maybe if they had taken care of business and they had gone to play the Lakers, maybe things might have been different, because I think that would have been more competitive. Because I think Lakers ended that series. Well, was it 5 or 6? I forget. Or was it 4? I can't remember how Lakers ended that series. But yeah.
That's a good pick for sure. Getting into our top 2. Number 2 for me is the 1997-98 Jazz. The Jazz were a force to be reckoned with in the 90s. They had several trips deep into the postseason, several trips into the championship. They came out with nothing in all of those appearances, but they were very consistently great, and they were known as probably the best Western Conference team of the mid to late 90s. They definitely kind of got that position and kept it. So they lost in 6 games to the Bulls. We all know what happened with Jordan and his 2 3-peats and just thrashing the entire league. But these series against the Jazz were always closer. Anytime the Bulls played the Jazz, it made for a good series and one of the more close matchups that Jordan had. So for me, got to give a shout out to the 97-98 Jazz. And again, there were several Jazz teams in the late 90s that definitely made a push and tried to get that first championship. And they're still waiting to this day, but time will tell. I mean, they're maybe the farthest they've ever been, but who knows? Maybe they'll make a push soon. Who's your number 2 for this top 5?
Give me the 15-16 San Antonio Spurs.
Ooh,
and I only say this because I put them as my number. And honorable mention, obviously, we have to talk about Boston Celtics. That year they lost to what's their name? Golden State. Yeah, they lost to Golden State Warriors. They had a good season that year, if I remember correctly. But anyways, yeah. So, and I say this also, if OKC lose in the second round to whoever they played this season, you might as well add them to this list. Just so just OKC, Cleveland, whoever, whichever of these 3 teams, we might as well add them to this list. But anyways, I say the Spurs and I put them second behind that Warriors team because they had a better point differential. I think it was 10.4, 10.1 points than the Warriors. That's crazy. And they still finished second. They scoring more points and all that stuff. It's about the wins and not point. But that's crazy though. That's crazy. They could have, and obviously I don't think if we had said if they had played the Warriors, because who they end up losing to? I forget who they lose
Spurs?
to. The Spurs. Who they lose to that year?
In 15-16?
Okay. Yeah. They lost to OKC that year. So if they had actually gone to play OKC that year, it might have been a different story. The Warriors might, I mean, so many things would have been different. But yeah, so San Antonio Spurs 15-16.
Yeah, no, that honestly, I probably should have had them a little higher on my list because they definitely were they're kind of, I don't want to say an underrated team, but they really are. They're kind of forgotten in the NBA.
Yeah. Because of the 73, yeah.
And because of let's be honest, because of the Cavs too, beating that. That all overshadows the Spurs. So, and I do think that was maybe Tim Duncan's last season. So that was a team that they had Aldridge, they had Duncan, they had Kawhi, and that was a really destructive team that should have at least, and if they go to the final.
Well, Kawhi got injured in that series, right? Did that also happen?
That might have been, yeah. So Let's talk about a healthy Spurs team going all the way and beating the Cavs. I don't know. That's what maybe. Number one, we might have the same number one. I don't know for
We
sure.
do
But
have
it's
the same number one, yeah.
Warriors, 73 win team. No one ever thought anyone was going to beat the Bulls out and get that record. People really thought that was out of reach. And really no team has really came close on it, like actually broken 70 since then. Oh, well, maybe I don't think anyone's broken 70.
No,
Um,
60, 69. I think what was that OKC hits what? Was it 60, no 66?
60, yeah. So
66,
we're
yeah.
we're right below it. I don't even know if we'll see a team break 70 wins with how competitive the NBA is now. I don't know if we'll ever see that. I mean, we probably will see a team break it eventually, but you got to give it to them. If it hadn't been for the Cavs, and some Warriors fans would even argue if it hadn't been for Draymond Green going out, that maybe it's a different series. And I'm going to be honest, I will listen to that point. I don't know if I'll 100% agree with it and say, yeah, it would have been different. The Warriors would have won, but I will acknowledge that because if Draymond Green is in, that's a difference maker. And so that's a whole different series if he doesn't miss that. So Warriors fans will be very, very vocal about their dislike of him going out and getting missing some time in that series. But that's got to be the Warriors. That was by far the best team in the league, and probably because of their record and just their success throughout that season, we could acknowledge it and say they're probably they're considered the best regular season team of all time because of the amazing and insane streaks and feats. They just killed every team. And that was like the start of just hating seeing the Warriors play no matter what team it was, because they were just going to win effortlessly. So 15-16 Warriors, same. I assume we got the same one.
Same one. Yes, same one. So I'm not going to say too much on it. So.
No, that's totally fair. Not much more to say about the best team in regular season history. Well, that wraps us up for another show. Obviously, we've got plenty more playoff basketball, so we will be back bringing you more NBA action. And, of course, the awards are going to be announced, so we'll be covering our opinions on when those are announced and who all got what, and we'll cover all that. But this takes us to an end of another show, but this is not the only place where you can find David and I on YouTube or on social media when it comes to podcasting. David, where else can our viewers find you when it comes to podcasts?
Yes, this is Man of Football Fans podcast on all podcast platforms. Pretty much every episode drops every Tuesday. I think we'll be off this next Tuesday due to whatever. But yeah, check us out, Man of Football Fans podcast. New episode just dropped. Actually, it dropped today, so check us out on there.
Definitely check them out and give them a listen or a watch. For me, I am on the College Football Junkie podcast, which is on this channel right here. You don't have to go anywhere else. It is on the Yankee and the Brit channel. We are currently on a break. I am still coordinating with my co-host to come back, but with spring ball starting up and plenty to talk about with college football, we are planning to come back before the end of April/May. So we'll be back within the next 2 to 4 weeks. More information will be out about that as it is available. But that takes us to the end of another show. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in, and we will talk to you guys next time.